What other species lie in the Halo galaxy left undiscovered? Hey guys, this is Alien Spartan 117, and today we are going to have a discussion on the ship that crash landed on Halo Installation 04 during the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary trailers. Now, I started out this video as a look at every other species that has been identified in the Halo universe and speculation on the part that they could play. But after doing more research on this topic, which I've always been interested in, I have decided to instead dedicate an entire video to speculation about this ship because this has all but been forgotten by the Halo community. I feel I haven't seen a discussion on this in a long time, and I feel like it's a very intriguing part of the Halo universe which we have all but forgotten about. So today we are going to take a look at this. Now I am going to put the terminals on for you guys to watch, and that'll bring you up to speed on what I'm talking about here. So the terminals are going to play. If you're familiar and you don't want to watch these, then you can skip ahead past, but for right now we're going to take a look at the terminals, and after that we're going to follow it up with some speculation and some discussion.
By measuring the geologic effects of exposure to the vacuum of space and the eventual biological recovery of these sections, I anticipate getting valuable insight into emergency response scenarios in case of sentient proximity warning. It has been 26 hours since the sentients landed in Sector 1215, and so far, they have not attempted to exit the remains of their vessel. I say remains because their landing was either not executed adequately, or this vessel lacked significant maneuvering capability. The visible portions of the vessel have suffered catastrophic structural damage during the violent landing experience. I have detected atmospheric leaks in 17 distinct locations along the hull. My analysis shows that the mixture of gases coming from the ship matches the natural atmosphere on my installation almost exactly. Perhaps the occupants, if they still live, were originally cataloged here. Perhaps these beings will confirm that the plan was successful, and that the galaxy has returned to its proper cadence. I am beyond optimistic. But I do not understand why these sentients have not attempted to exit their vessel. Other than the leaking atmosphere, the only thing emanating from this wreckage is an automated distress call. I am currently translating this automated broadcast, but with such a limited dataset and no direct communication, I do not anticipate full comprehension. Given the short-range nature of this craft, it is likely that other vessels are nearby. But, in accordance with procedure, I am blocking the distress call. No communication of the location of any installation is permissible. I admit great curiosity about these visitors. While the plan is quite clear about procedure for this situation, I have my doubts. How many failure points can the plan sustain before blind adherence becomes counterproductive? Surely, in light of all that has changed, I should be able to modify my responses to adapt to it. No, I have duties. And I have a terrible cargo here. I must be sure. I shall obey and content myself to monitor. I hope they come out soon, though. So many questions to ask. So many questions. Construction of the sarcophagus around the unexplained vessel was completed today. No occupants ever exited. No attempts to communicate were made, other than the automated broadcast that repeated every 72.83 seconds until the signal terminated 1 week ago. In accordance with procedure, no attempts at physical or remote contact were made with any survivors of this vessel's inelegant landing. Atmosphere from inside the craft stopped venting 2 weeks before the signal ceased. No relationship between these two events can be established with certainty. Gases that did escape were sterilized. No further sign of alien visitors or rescuers has been identified on any sensor systems. I have now endured 60,000 years without word from outside the array. I have no way to know whether we actually saved the galaxy we destroyed. And because of protocol, I sat silently while my first chance to be judged for those acts died. To say that I regret being forced to this outcome is a tremendous...
What a fascinating story. This is the only bullet point in the lore in any Halo media that we have relating to this ship. We have no idea about anything that has to do with this besides what you just saw. So that raises the question, what is this? First off, we're going to take a couple of facts. This is 60,000 years after the firing of the Halo array, which means that 40,000 years before combat evolved. So this is definitely not human, this is definitely not Covenant, this is definitely not any race which we have ever seen in Halo before. Now, multiple theories exist on what this ship is, and I'm going to list a few of those. Some people theorize that this is a precursor ship. Maybe for some reason precursors were on board and they came back at this time period and crash landed on a Halo ring. I kind of discredit this theory because I could see precursors actually emerging. I don't see them staying. And one thing we have to take away is that this ship was transmitting a distress signal which was of a short range nature, which means whatever race this is must have had other ships nearby. Others have speculated that it's Forerunners. Well, I discredit this because if it were to be Forerunners, then they would have definitely exited the ship, and 343 would have recognized it immediately as being Forerunner. So I am going to discredit that theory. That leaves only one other option, and that is that this is a species which exists in the Halo lore which we have never seen before. So, what is the implications of this? 40,000 years before combat evolved. That is still a lot of time. This species could have thrived in this time period, and at this point they could be failed and long gone, a forgotten civilization. This species could have thrived. Maybe they ruled the galaxy at one point. We know nothing. From the end of the book Halo CEA to starting off near the Rainforest Wars in Halo Ghost of Onyx, we know virtually nothing about that period in time of the galaxy. This is one of the only things that exist in the entire lore relating to the galaxy in this time period. So that brings up huge questions on what this could be. First off, if this species still exists, and they have been developing as any other civilization would, over the course of 40,000 years they must have developed amazing technologies. Who knows what this species could be capable of? 343 Industries stated that everything that they put in the Halo lore had a purpose. So this ship, in some shape or form, must have a purpose. I'm not saying that it's going to appear in Halo 5, this species, but somewhere in the lore, I expect this question to be answered about what this ship is. Now obviously the remains of it would have been destroyed whenever the Chief destroyed the ring in Halo Combat Evolved, but that species, whoever they are, they're out there. And there is so little information, there is so little details to try to draw an adequate theory from that we have absolutely no idea but to purely speculate. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I believe this is a species that was thriving at this time period. They had to have obviously known about the rings because they landed on one and with other ships nearby. Maybe they were studying Forerunner technology. This species could have thrived in the galaxy, but we have no way of knowing anything about this species. I can only hope that they will detail in the future who they are and they could make a future appearance in Halo media. Because this is a great opportunity to bring in a truly fresh feel to Halo. Whenever people think of Halo, they think of the Forerunners, they think of the Covenant. This is a completely powerful species that we know absolutely nothing about. Now there is the idea out there that it was a ship left floating through space after the firing of the Halo array, which had floated for over 60,000 years and landed. I discredit that theory because it still had working systems, working atmosphere, and it was transmitting a short-range distress signal. So there had to have been other craft nearby. So what we have to stop and ask ourselves is, if this race, whoever they are, is still active and they still exist on a powerful level, then how do we contact them? During the events of Halo 5 and Cortana's created, this species would obviously come under threat by Guardians as well, and we have no idea if they would combat them or anything. How would this species deal with humanity? Are they aware of the truths of the Forerunners? Do they worship them as gods as the Covenant did? This species developed much quicker than any others. The Covenant, the UNSC, did not come together until almost 98,000 years after the firing of the Halo Array for the Covenant Empire. So this species developed 40,000 years quicker than any of the other species in the Halo media. That's an astounding amount of time. Whoever this species is, they're a highly intelligent and highly resourceful species. So let's just hope that this question will be answered in the future. I ask you to please leave your comments and your opinions below on this. Give this video a share if you would like to try to spread this around, because this is a very important part of the Halo lore, I feel, which we have all but forgotten as a community. And I don't believe 343 would introduce something like this into the lore if they did not plan on using it. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more content coming soon. Please hit that subscribe button. And please feel free to check out some of the other videos on this channel, featuring videos on upcoming Halo Wars 2 with the Banished, top 10 Halo facts about anything in the Halo lore, and more speculation videos as the fantastic Halo universe continues. So y'all have a good day, and please subscribe. Thank you.